Every once in a while, a very special knife comes along. I saw this knife a few days ago on Splitting Slices channel. You should go check it out. He reviews a lot of great knives. This is a Tuya Caladan version 2, and it is one of those very special knives. The price right now on closeout is $159. That is dirt cheap. Let's open this up and see what you get. It's in a really nice case. You have a rubber ring, so this is waterproof. I've already carried this knife for 2 days, but I packaged it back up so you could see how it comes. You get a business card. And the knife comes in a Ziploc bag. This is camo carbon fiber. You have a milled titanium clip, but not only is it a milled clip, it is rounded off so it fits in the palm of your hand without causing any hot spots. You have a frame lock, or more technically, this is a bolster lock. They make a all titanium version without the carbon fiber, and that you would actually call a frame lock. But the frame lock is covered up by one of the scales, which makes it a bolster lock, because that's the only section of the lock that's accessible. This knife is a flipper only, and as you can see, you have to actuate the lock bar right up here. But watch this. As I just turn the knife over and stand it up in the air, it drops shut. Very few knives are as drop shutty as this. It actually will guillotine shut. You don't want your finger in the way of that. This is an S90V blade, 3 3/4 inches. And let's pull a few measurements here. You see 3 3/4 inch blade length. Let's see, the inner grip on the handle is a good 4 1/4 inches. And with that 4 1/4 inches, even a large hand will fit on there and get a full purchase. And it'll be very comfortable. I don't like 3-finger knives. 3-finger knives cause fatigue if you have heavy work to do, and fatigue will cause you to slip and have an injury. Here's the Tuya logo, and you can see the nice hand rub satin finish on the blade. And over here is the SB for Skelton Bladeworks. This is a Jim Skelton design. The execution of this knife is as good as it gets. Attention has been paid to every detail, even the minor ones that often are neglected. When you take this knife outside in the sunlight and you move it around, that carbon fiber looks like it dances in the sunlight. It's spectacular. Now, I know there is one more of these camo carbons left, but it has a DLC blade. If you like a DLC coated blade, that would be a good one to get. But let's compare this to some other knives. Remember, this right now is on closeout for $159. Now, one of the knives that I regard is some of the highest quality in the industry are these Jack Wolf knives. These are dialed in very good. The flipper action is incredible. Attention is paid to all the little details. These are just excellent. Look at the difference in what you get. This is a lot more knife, not even close. And these are $350. What's a better value? Even though this is an excellent knife, like I said, some of the finest there are, period. This is tuned better. It's at least as good on materials and fit and finish, if not slightly better. And it's a lot more knife. Let's take a look at this. This is a Benchmade 710. These are about $400. It also has an S90V blade, but the body is all aluminum, not titanium and carbon fiber. And you have an access lock, which this one still needs to be broken in. Good knife. The materials do not compete with this one. Another highly regarded knife, Chris Reeve Umnumzan. This one has a MagnaCut blade. It's all titanium. It did come with a flaw. I had to heat up the clip and bend it that way, because this clip only sat on the frame. It did not cover up any of the lock bar. And when you hold it, your fingers would hit that lock bar and it would make it impossible to open this blade. Now, it is possible to flick this knife open, but the action is sluggish. They call it hydraulic. Hydraulic to me is just a fancy word for over-tightened pivot action. Great knife, but at $550, does it compete? I'm going to say not even close. Let's take a look at another offering from Benchmade. This is the Classic 940. Green aluminum scales and an S30V blade. Even this will set you back over $200. Nowhere's near comparable to this knife. Let's take a look at Spyderco. Here's a Manix 2 lightweight, Spy 27. This will set you back about the same amount, around $150, $160, something like that. What a difference in materials, workmanship, precision. Not even in the same league. In fact, none of these knives that I've laid on the table, with the exception of Jack Wolf, can even come close to matching the materials and the fit and finish of this Tuya Caladan. All right, let's take a look at some more Spydercos. We just looked at the Manix 2, lightweight. How about a Manix 2? This one would be called the Crucarda, Crewwear blade, and micarta scales. This will set you back more than the Caladan. The last knife I want to compare today is the Shaman. This is another excellent knife. This one is in Crewwear. I put titanium scales and a titanium clip on this knife. Now, as is in stock form, a Shaman in Crewwear will set you back more than the Caladan. But with the titanium hardware, this would easily be double or more than double of what the Caladan is. This Caladan is an excellent value. It's unheard of to find a knife of this quality for anywhere near this price. This knife will compete with others in the $500 to $600 price range. Everything is done right. The level of precision is incredible. The tolerances are so tight, it's just perfection. It's decently thin behind the edge. This knife will be an incredible slicer. The pivot uses a T8. It's captured on this side, and all the body screws are T6s. I would have liked to have seen T8 hardware throughout. That would have been nicer, but that's just a nitpick. I can't believe the action on this thing. It's just so good. If you can swing $159, there's probably still a dozen of these knives left in various different configurations. Some all titanium, which would be more of what you would consider a Framelock, and others in different carbon fibers, which would be considered a bolster lock. It's still the same type of lock. It's still a Framelock. It's just, how do you want the outside to look? So in conclusion, this is one of those rare knives that comes along at an outstanding price. If you can swing one of these, I would highly advise you to pick one up. I would rather have this knife in my pocket than any of these other ones. The only knife on this table that can even hold the candle to this one is the Jack Wolf. But it doesn't have the same attention paid to detail. As you can see, they don't round off the clip. This just has a higher quality feel to it when you pick this up. This knife by Tuya will compete with any of the knives that Riot turns out. This is excellent. Do a search online for Tuya knives and you'll find the website. I'll also put a link below in the description. I highly advise you to go pick one of these up while there are still some left in stock. This is an amazing knife. It's a rare find. Here you have a chance to get a $500-$600 class knife for $159. That's going to be it for this one. We'll see you next time.